All right, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to give a backup recording. I'm going to remember to do that from now on. All right, perfect. Fantastic. Traders from around the world, this is another edition of Real Life Trading. Chatting with my good friend, amazing trader, mentor of mine, business associate, just all kinds of titles I could give this guy, Jesse James Levan, up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at least near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And we're just going to chat with him. He's on the line, and my goal, as usual, every single week is just to chat with traders in real life who are trading real money and just ask them questions that you might have, that I have. Always trying to learn. That's really my goal, is I just want to learn from traders who are better than I am. So, Jesse, how are you today, man?
Doing awesome. Yeah, Jeremy, thanks for the phenomenal intro there. Yeah, doing fabulous, dude. Yeah, thanks so much. Feel completely honored to be a part of this and be able to be part of this interview. And also, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who's been interviewed so far, all the other traders. It's really awesome to kind of get other people's stories, hear other people who are kind of in the same world. So just awesome.
Yeah. Oh, no, man. Thanks. Thank you for being a part of it. There's such a long history I could kind of fill everyone in on with me and you trading together, but give everyone just kind of a background on you, stock market, and how you got started. Everyone likes that story. Fill us in.
All right. If we've got a couple minutes here. So basically, starting in kind of childhood, I grew up, my mom was always into business. She was in supply chain. She is in supply chain. That's her sort of field of work. And my dad is a mechanic by trade. So I grew up always hearing all kinds of supply chain conversations or, conference calls, that sort of thing. So just learning a lot about business. And then with my dad being a mechanic, I was always, working on cars with him, taking things apart. So growing up, this kind of fostered just sort of engineering mindset for me. We're always took things apart and wanted to see how they worked. So that, and then also just for whatever reason, I guess part of the business side of me was always interested in sort of investments, creating wealth with savings and just kind of looking at different financial vehicles. Mm-hmm. I was in college and I kind of stumbled upon like a paper trading website, so I could practice trading. So I kind of signed up for that, and I remember buying some shares of Best Buy. This was before I had absolutely no history, knowledge of, any kind of technical analysis, fundamentals, anything. I remember it was probably like April 2009. I bought, like a couple hundred shares of Best Buy. My mindset was thinking, it's a great company. They sell electronics, new cell phones, Xbox, PlayStations, CD players, those were big back then.
Sure.
So you name it. So again, I knew absolutely nothing about it back then. And then I just happened to see like an advertisement for like stock market trading. So that popped up. I checked it out, took their like first level of beginner classes, and that pretty much got me hooked on trading. So from that, I just learned all kinds of basics, starting with the support and resistance, to moving averages. And even just those right there, I was thinking, man, this stuff is magic and I love it. So I was finding these classes that kind of fit in the pattern and obeyed the lines, like support and resistance and that sort of thing. And then obviously there was more classes there. So I wound up taking all the different levels, just learning everything about trading that I could, Fibonacci, learn about candlesticks, everything behind it. So me with kind of like my engineering mindset, I always am interested on how things work and why,
Sure.
Not so much like, obviously I want to know how it works, but then sort of the background behind it. So, these classes kind of dug into everything and taught the basics behind it, which was really big for me. And then from there, I mean, that was 2009. So over the years, it's just taken me a long time to kind of grow and really get comfortable with reading the charts. Mm-hmm. Back then, I was looking at everybody's support and resistance lines, like, those were the golden answer, and like this line at this specific price is, like that's the answer. That's where you got to look for. And, I'd be copying people's lines, watching different people, seeing where they have their support and resistances. And I think just trying different strategies and kind of, this is where that engineering mindset comes into play, is just looking for like a specific answer, like this is the key golden strategy that works in the stock market. So it kind of took a lot of retraining of my brain, just learning that it's okay to be wrong. And then in the stock market, not every single strategy is going to work 100%
Right.
of the time. Right. So I think for me, that probably took the biggest amount of time to just kind of get over that hurdle.
Sure.
Um, and I did some coaching calls with you, that sort of thing, got a lot of help from you and growing. Um, and I think just a big part of it was just learning to kind of like read the stock market as like a living, breathing kind of creature and kind of flowing. And I started to kind of take away from studying everybody else's charts and really just making them my own. Like support and resistance lines, I would just focus on where I saw support and resistance with my eyes. And moving forward, I think that was like the biggest key for me, because then, when I'd see stocks pulling back, I'd see them hitting my support and resistance lines like in the future, which was, pretty magical. And that was probably just like a huge moment for me that really took off my trading from there.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, that was a big breakthrough for me for sure, is just realizing that everyone's going to have a different opinion, So if you post a chart and it's your analysis and your support resistance lines, I mean, there's going to be 100,000 other people out there in the world that are going to see it a little bit differently, And all you can do is go, okay, here's what I'm doing, and then just do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you were so right. One of the things that I want to bring up with you specifically, and again, I could do it with a lot of other people, I'm sure, as well, but I know you're going to be a good candidate for this because you recently got married to your high school sweetheart. You had a kid, and you work full time. You're in the gym. You're busy. I need to hear about your schedule. From one
All right.
trader to another, what does your schedule look like? I mean, you can factor in whatever you want to, man. Tell us, like, how do you get everything done? Because you do a lot.
So I just don't sleep. That's pretty much it. I wish. I want to invent some pill, so I don't have to sleep, especially like with these cryptos and everything too, right?
I'm telling you.
But all right, so pretty much like a normal day for me would start. I get up about 4 a.m. I live on the East Coast, so I get up at 4 a.m. and then get ready, get the house ready, let the dogs out, get my lunch ready for my son, and kind of get everybody situated, get out the door, and then I go to the gym. So I'm usually at the gym maybe an hour, hour and a half in the morning, and then I'll leave there and go to work. And I usually work 7 to 4. So I get in there early before everybody else, and then a lot of times I'll get in there maybe 6:30 or so before 7. So I'll look at some charts in the morning, do some charting. Just recently, I signed up for the extended hours on TradingView. So like I can look at, some of the different, the trade after hour trading. So I'll look at that, look at sentiment, that sort of thing. And then I look at my charts and kind of check in here and there. I know some people are familiar, I pop in the trading room here and there during the day. That obviously depends on just what's going on with work. Like I recently got a promotion, so just doing a lot of, in lots of meetings, lots of presentations, and that sort of thing. So I don't get as much time during the day in the market and on my charts as, I used to, or as I'd like to. So I kind of have to do that either first thing in the morning and then also in the evening. So I'll look at stuff during lunch, and then go home, take care of family, the son, and that sort of thing. And then once we get him to bed, probably 7:30, 8 o'clock, then, I'm on the computer looking at stocks, seeing what different things did during the day, my trades, check those out. I have a couple main stocks that I follow instead of just looking at, hundreds of stocks and being overwhelmed. So handful of stocks that I follow that I study pretty well and, kind of know how they move. So I'll look at those the night, that night, and then look for any new trade setups, or if I have any active trades, see where they are, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, maybe do some reading, that sort of thing, read a couple books. I made that one of my goals like last year, is to just really start reading a lot. And that was one thing that you pushed me to do, is just start reading more. So I try to do that and then pass out and do it again the next day. But
That's right. What time do you go to bed normally? 8, 9, it sounds like?
the goal is like 8:30 if, I want to go to the gym in the morning again. But,
Yeah.
I'm usually in bed by, like 9 o'clock. So
You wake up
I
at
try my
4
best.
a.m. every
Yeah,
morning.
man.
Woo!
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And so part of that, um, so I'm sure everybody's heard the saying, like, you'll never find time, you have to make it, right? So,
Yeah.
I've watched tons of motivational videos, and like, if you think it's hard to find time, when you're just single or, not with kids, like, just wait till you have children. So I used to go to the gym after work. I'm passionate about fitness and working out and that sort of thing. So it's a big part of my life as well. So we had my son, and then, I wanted to be around in the evenings with him. If I go to the gym, after work still, then I wouldn't see him at night. So, listen to these motivational videos, that sort of thing. And, a lot of them are, you got to make the time and commit to it. So, I'm committed to my fitness and, also trading as well. So I need to figure out how I can make time to fit that in. So that's why,
Mm.
as crazy as it was at first, the gym opens at 5. So I'm like, all right, well, if I get up at 4, I could get everything done in the morning, go to the gym at 5, get my workout in for the day, go to work, and come home and spend time with the family, right? So
Right.
I just started doing that, and after a while, it's pretty hard at first, but then after a while, you get used to waking up that early, and it just becomes a part of life. And like, I have a good friend. He just had a kid too, as well, and he was kind of in the same boat. I started having him coming with me to the gym, and at first, he thought it was crazy, but then we started, now he does it, and we do it, every day. We wake up and get in there together. It also helps, to motivate me when you have somebody else kind of pushing you to make sure you get up and go too.
Totally. By the way, guys, this is Jesse. This is what he looks like. He is a gym guy. We worked out together after a long night, going to bed at 2. We woke up at 8, I think.
Oh man.
So Swole City putting me to shame. But so what you mentioned some stocks that you follow often. Which one are those?
So currently my list kind of changes as, I trade them and find opportunities, that sort of thing. But right now, it's United States Steel, so X, MU, Apple, FCX. Um, Twitter's on there, but really haven't traded that too much. BP is a big one, and then SQ.
Okay, that's a nice list. So FCX, US Steel, Apple, SQ, and Twitter.
Yeah, man.
Amazon, do you track? And Amazon, I know you track Amazon all the time.
Yeah, Amazon too.
Amazon. What's your trading style right now? Do you do shares? You do options? You do put sales? What's kind of your thought?
So right now, I kind of do. Well, if it's a more expensive stock, I'll use kind of like an absolute zero strategy and use options. So like Apple or Amazon, I'll use obviously options for them. So I have a smaller trading account, but some of the other ones like SQ, BP, MU, I'll just use shares. That's a little bit easier. And I kind of got used to like how they move and learning just how those stocks move. So yeah, I like to stick with shares with those guys.
How's your success been with that?
It's actually been really good since like I mentioned before, just sticking to like my support and resistance zones and kind of like making the charts my own. And I think since I narrowed down my trading to, just a handful of stocks and just really studying those, I've really learned how they move, how they, kind of um, move with moving averages and, just the candlestick patterns. So
Beautiful. So did you have
yeah,
a
like
profit year last year, 2017?
2017 was profitable. Yeah, man. It was my best year yet. And I met my goal. I wanted to double my trading account, the value, and I met that.
Nice.
So it was phenomenal. It was awesome. I mean, it took years. I mean, some people probably take a couple of years, but me, like I was saying, I started trading probably in like 2009. So, it took a lot of years, and now I wasn't trading consistently that whole time. Um, I like for instance, I was taking these classes, right, and I'd learn about like moving averages, and so I'd try that strategy, lose money, and then I get discouraged, so I'd like kind of stop trading for a little bit, and then jump back in maybe a month or two later, and start doing it again, learn something new,
Yeah.
and slowly until I got to the point where it just became more natural. And I think a big part of it for me too was it's almost like I was spending too much time studying everything and just trying
Oh,
to like focus. I was trying to find this like magic strategy. Spending too much time looking at everything, and it wasn't until I really just simplified everything, took it down to just a real simple strategy, basic, that I started being successful. I mean, and it's kind of funny. There's so many different indicators, so many different strategies you can do. I've learned about tons of indicators. I've hours on each, trying to learn how it works. MACD, using the RSI. Just
yeah.
all these different things. And it's funny because my strategy now is really just support and resistance. That's like a big part, and then candlesticks. I use the moving averages, but not so much as to follow them, but more as like a reference. So it's mainly like candlesticks and support and resistance zones. So I mean,
Man, so what's interesting to me, there's this battle in our minds mentally, and I'd love to get your opinion on this because I get so many emails per day and when people are saying, "Hey, dude, I got a full-time job. I don't have time to trade." And you mentioned the point of like making the time. And I want to hear from you, like how do you make time? Like how is that done? How do you find the time or make the time to trade with a full-time job and everything? Like, what does that look like? Is that cutting things out? Is that getting more efficient? Like, tell me more. How do you make the time, or is it just comes down to just pure just determination and will?
yeah, I mean, so to begin with, obviously you have to make the time and set aside the time. Um, and at least for me, what I found is, a big part of it is just trying to find like the right balance. And just simplifying things, really. I mean, there's so much information out there, and I mean, you could talk to 100 different people and each one could give you a different trading strategy, which stocks are the best to trade. So I mean, if you pick just a handful of stocks, even just five, right, and then you have a simple strategy you apply to those, initially it's going to take you a long time. I mean, maybe longer than once you get going, but initially to set, your support and resistances with those five stocks. But once you have it, you've studied them, you looked at history, you've done some back trading, you know how they move. Then every night you spend maybe 15 minutes just looking at them, seeing what they did that day. So like initially, I put in a couple hours on those initial stocks to get everything set up, but then, maybe it's 15 minutes in the evening going over my five stocks, and then I will look at them throughout the day. So, when I'm at work, I'll just kind of see what they're doing. But,
Sure.
I mean, if time is limited, I mean, you want to simplify your strategy, make it as easy for you as possible. Um, and then obviously use like OCO orders, once you have that set on your trades, I mean, you don't have to worry about them. Like I don't have to sit here and watch my trades during the day, check in on them, because I know I have, I got my target and my stop set on the trades. So that kind of reduces an anxiety too, which was initially a problem as well. Now that
Yeah.
I mention it, just kind of like that stress of, you know, I could be losing money right now if I'm not watching what the stock's doing all day, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you
Man.
got your stop in there,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, once you got to stop, I mean, just whatever. Got that because when somebody emails me and go, "Hey man, I work full time. I don't have the time to trade." I usually reply, "Are you kidding me?" Like usually traders who trade full time at work do better. Like this is literally the time for you to do this because
Yeah, yeah,
you have a full time job. Number one, you got money coming in. That's a big check mark because
yep,
trading for a living and that's all you're doing. That's all of your income. That's hell. I've been in that, and it's not fun. I mean, I've done the rice and beans and ramen noodles chicken diet for months. Like, it is not exciting, and
yeah,
it's very hard to do, especially if you have family and kids and people who depend on you. So having a full time job, that's only how much do you work a week, Jesse? Be honest with me. Like what, 40, 50, 60 hours a week total? Like how often are you at the job?
I mean, on average, yeah, at least 50. But
50 hours. That's it. Like, that is all. I mean, there's still 118 hours left
yeah,
in
man.
in the week. Like, 50. I mean, 50 hours is a good amount of time. Don't get me wrong. That's a great. And you like your job too. That's another thing I want to point out. I know people
Hmm.
who hate the job. You like your job. But I mean, 50 hours a week, guys. So let's say 160 hours in a week. 168. So that's 24 times 7. And then you take 168 minus 50, and that's 118. And let's do another 50 hours for sleep, which was what is that? That would be about 5 hours a night, so maybe that's a little bit too low. Let's do 8 times 5. No, sorry, there's 7 days in a week. 8 times 7, it's 56 hours. So
Yeah,
168.
that's generous. So
Yeah, that's generous. So 168 minus 50 hours a week minus 56 hours in sleep. You still got 62 hours. 62 hours a week. So what are we doing with those 62 hours? Is like an infinite amount of time. It is so long to me of doing something. I mean, that's a whole nother job. And then you still have
sure, yeah,
12 more hours. I think.
yeah, man.
Why do people come up with excuses? How do you get people over excuses? Because you motivate people all the time, man. I saw you around your family. And guys, let me throw this out. Jesse got all of his family, all of his friends. They're all trading stuff. Cryptos, stocks, 401ks, IRAs. This guy going and just spreading the good news of financial independence. Like, he is the man. How do you get people to get over their excuses? Like, what's your advice on that?
Well, I just try to teach them, some of the things I know and just show them, this kind of success. And I think a lot of people are, they just seem kind of afraid. They hear like trading the stock market and all like the bad stories that come with it. And, I'm not smart enough to do that. Like, that's stockbrokers in like New York, that's going to be too hard. I can't learn that kind of thing. So I just teach them a little bit, I'll bring up a stock like on TradingView, just show them, teach them about some of the candlesticks, like how that works, and just the sentiment behind it, and just keep things pretty basic and just show them, how easy it is, and teach them a few things, and people get excited. One of the big things for me getting my family in has been like these cryptocurrencies, just teaching them about them, and everybody's just so excited about the future of it, and just the growing potential that cryptocurrencies bring, and just like the blockchain technology and everything in general. So
Yeah.
just get people excited, teach them about it, and just keep talking about it mainly. I think sometimes it drive them nuts, but
I like it. I like it. Tell me some of your 2018 goals, because I haven't asked you this yet, so I might as well ask you in public. It could be trading, it could be relations, it could be relational, it could be physical, whatever goals you got, or plans or objectives, whatever they might be. Books. What's on the list for 2018, man?
all right. So I want to read a couple more books. So obviously at least one book every quarter, but I'm going to try to read. I got some traveling coming up, so I can definitely do a bunch of reading in the planes and then obviously at night. But definitely want to read, a handful more books, probably at least 6. I got a whole stack I need to get through. Another big goal I want to do is to double my account again in 2018 year. So that's going to be a big milestone for me.
Okay.
Um, and that in and of itself, I mean, it's kind of like the drivers behind that too. Is I want to get to the point where I can really start using the trading winnings to pay for things for my family. Take them places and just really utilize that and leverage it. So I know a lot of guys here, hear stories like, Jeff, paid for braces for his daughter, and just things like that. I mean, that's awesome and phenomenal. Like, I want to be at that stage where I can start buying things for my family, showing them just like how great trading is like to our lives. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me about the whole like small account mentality, like with being patient. What would your advice be on that? Because trading, however, I mean, each person individually has a definition of small account. So your definition of small account is probably different than other people's, but just in general, if someone has, let's say you have $4,000 4 grand. How do you go about growing that, or how long do you think it should take to grow that amount? What would your thoughts be on that?
Well, like everybody talks about it, and it's serious. It takes a while. I mean, to grow your account. So the more money you have, the faster you can grow it. But when you have like a $4,000 account, probably one of the biggest things to do is find a stock that's a good buy, and buy and hold that, hold that for like a couple months. Let that grow. That by 4,000 you can take advantage of margin. So find like a good blue chip stock. It's one big thing that I did, and that's one thing I did with BP before. So then you cash out in that, that maybe doubles, or at least you get 0.75% grow, or sorry 75% growth in your account.
Yeah.
And then you look for the next stock, and you just keep doing that till you grow your account. If you use like a dividend paying stock, you can reinvest your dividends as well. So, that's just one thing. Nowadays, I mean, everybody's hearing about cryptocurrency. So I think that's just a phenomenal thing for a small account. So maybe even take $3,000, right, on your margin, put that into a blue chip stock, and then take 1,000 and trade, cryptocurrencies, and study those and watch that grow. But yeah, I just think it takes a lot of you have to be conservative with it, and then you have to find the right balance of being aggressive with your trades. So it's hard. I started in college, didn't have a whole lot of money. When I bought my first trading classes, I saved some money through college, but like I said, I was into cars, so I actually sold my my ECU for my computer. That was like a programmable ECU. I sold that, to buy these trading classes. So I had to sacrifice some stuff, to invest in myself and in the future, right? So
Sure.
I did that. So I mean, if you don't have enough money, like find ways to create money and make money. Like there's tons of ways. There's plenty of things that everybody can do, especially with technology nowadays. I mean, you get paid for writing blogs and that sort of thing. So, along with maybe when you have a blue chip stock that's slowly growing over a couple of months, like keep studying, keep, looking at different charts, studying strategies, making extra money to add to your account. So, but it does take a lot of time, like I've been trading for, quite a while now, but finally just getting a breakthrough and now being, decently profitable now. The past couple of years it was either like break even or up, a little bit, but
Yeah.
like 2016 and then last year last year was my best year so far, but I know this year's going to be even better. So, it just takes time. So you got to be persistent and just really stick with it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, what'll happen is, and I got caught up in this too when I was younger. I don't know, it doesn't matter the amount of money, but let's say you're trading with 5 grand, and you're looking at these people that are buying, they're in their Lamborghinis and their nice houses, and they're like, oh man, I want that. And take a really aggressive, risky trade on your 5 grand, like some out of the money option or something, and
Right.
you just get really way overzealous and over optimistic, and then the trade goes against you, and you just kind of get damaged. Over diversification is a big problem that I had too, and had a smaller account because I kept hearing the term diversify. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. If you only got $5,000, that's not all of your eggs, right? You need to work on growing your eggs, because if you lose 5 grand, you can recover from that. Like that's a recoverable amount of money. If you
Right.
have $1 million in cash and you lose all of that, that's harder, right? So one of my approaches too, and I think you're spot on, man, is you have a smaller account, find something safe, an Apple, a BP, a Walmart, a Target, find it a good support. And if you put $5,000 into Walmart, that's not all of your eggs in one basket, right? That is, you're investing in Walmart at that point. You lose 5 grand, you're not crippled for your entire life.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But again, that's not an aggressive approach, I don't personally believe. I mean, it's Walmart. Aggressive would be, you buy the newest, hottest blockchain stock on an hourly chart, and don't put stops or something like that. That's aggressive. Walmart
Right.
is not aggressive. That is the
Yeah,
quintessential.
they're not going where within the year,
Yeah. What companies do you like going forward in 2018?
I'm watching SQ. I think they got a lot of potential. They had a huge pullback. So, and then obviously, they're kind of at the beginning and just a good growth stock. I like, what they're about and their model and everything. And I mean, we had a huge run up last year, which was just phenomenal, insane. So, I mean, a nice pullback. So just waiting for that to, start popping, which it has been the beginning of this year. So that's already been pretty solid. Um, Probably still start keeping an eye on, like Nvidia, definitely MU, AMD, as these, cryptos keep going, more people are trying to keep
Mine.
on, yeah, the mining and all that. Everybody's getting more into it. So definitely watching a lot of those. There's a lot of stocks that had just insane gains last year. So I'm starting to try to see maybe if there's something in sort of like the retail sector that's good and looks good for a really good buy. So that's something that I'm kind of looking at eyeballing.
Totally.
Maybe like Under Armour or something.
Yeah, yeah. Something that sold off a little bit, has a little bit of meat on the bones left.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at it right now, actually. So MU, I might sell some puts on this one. It has some pretty good premium for February down here. Good call, man. I might look around on that one. That's one of the run-ups that I didn't even think about, and there's so many things to think about in the market, but with the whole cryptocurrency space, I never thought about, okay, if everyone's going to be mining, they're going to be buying computers and GPUs and CPUs. Where are they going to be buying them from? Who's going to be running the processing? Oh, yeah, NVIDIA, MU, AMD.
Right.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, I bought the cryptocurrencies themselves, which is fine, but I never even thought about the actual stock. I traded MU very nicely. We did good on MU and NVIDIA. I don't personally trade AMD that more often, but I just didn't piece those together, like why they were running up. But it makes total sense now that you said it.
Yeah, yeah, right.
What's some stocks and companies that you just absolutely don't trade? You don't like, they're nemesis. You don't touch them.
Um, After last year, CHK's made it to that list, so that thing's just been a dog.
CHK.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, dude. What a thing. It just doesn't do anything. I mean, it moves, but not really.
I know that thing had high hopes, and I don't know what happened. I don't know.
So, you were mentioning books last year. What was some of your favorite reads? What was your big takeaways?
So the first one I read last year was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yep.
Um, so that one was phenomenal. I read that, and then I learned a lot about just setting up corporations and LLC, that sort of thing, setting up your business just for like the tax advantages and just everything that goes along with it. So that's what kind of got me interested. And then you were part of a webinar series. I don't know if it was a 365 Wealth last year or it was something that you were part of. And there was another company there who did they did like tax trading or trading, yeah, tax trading, I guess.
Sure.
They help you set up like an LLC and stuff like that. So I was watching their webinar and just learned how easy it was to set up an LLC and like a trading company. So kind of that with the things I learned from the Rich Dad Poor Dad book helped me to like know that I wanted to set up a business and just how easy it was. I guess I just always had the mindset that setting up your own business is kind of like complicated and there's more to it, but
Yeah.
mainly just some paperwork, and you have a business, which was pretty cool. So last year, I set up a trading business. I have my own trading business, so everything goes in through there. That was a great book. There's been quite a few books that I've read about just kind of like your mindset. Was it The Richest Man in Babylon? That was a pretty good one.
Classic. Yeah, that's a good one. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
if nobody's read them, it's definitely a must read. And there's just so many books out there that are just about your mindset, which is just such a huge part of it. Um, just how you think and where you perceive yourself. It's crazy just how big that psychology kind of plays on you.
Man, so right. Like just the study of psychology in itself, because if you figure out why, and I've seen this happen, before, and obviously it happens now, but more so years ago, I was more on Facebook and other sites and medias and companies and whatever. I would just see traders, like two traders, take the exact same trade. The exact same trade. Like one trader would get in, another trader would get in, same entry, same stop, same instrument, right? They're in shares, whatever. One person would end up making money on it, and then one person would end up exiting too early and losing. And it's like, okay, so the stock did the exact same thing. Why did one person lose versus the other? What's the difference? And asking that question and trying to really determine, like, how is it that occurred? And then it just comes down to one person's psychology is just a little bit different. And then the approach of money and being afraid to lose and being afraid to be wrong. How'd you get over that? Like the fear of being wrong and losing money?
That was really hard for me. And again, that goes back to kind of like retraining my mind and everything too, because when I first started trading, I guess I just kind of had the idea mentality that there's like, I'm going to find that one strategy that it works every time, and it's the money maker. But obviously that's not the case. And I think another big part of it, with just over time learning, is also just the application of using an R, right? So where your risk unit is. It's 1 R every time you take a trade, so you're not going to lose more than that 1 R. So a big part of it for me was that risk is limited. So I'm not going to just lose my entire account because I've already taken the steps beforehand to prep and make sure that I'm only going to lose X amount of money, my 1 R. So that was a big part for me. Yeah.
That is a big one, because the certainty aspect, right? People want to know for sure what's going to happen and where and when and why. They want to have a very good implementation of, okay, here's what I'm doing and here's why I'm doing it and where. And once you know that, I mean, you shouldn't really be afraid at that point, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You know what's going to happen. And I find that easier with shares. And that's another hurdle that I have, and for myself especially, is because I literally did this. I went in with shares. Most people, everyone in the world knows how to trade shares everywhere. And I learned it. I made some money. And I was like, oh, this is exciting. And then I went into options like immediately. And my shares, I think I did it for like three months or something, 6 months, something like that, when I was actually trading money and making money. But I just dropped right into options, which is fine.
Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly, which is fine. But everyone knows how badly it went. But there's just so many variables with options, right? There's so many variables. And, just trading those shares, it's my thought to a lot of traders out there who might be listening to this is, small account or large account, the biggest goal as a trader, and you're probably your number one objective, is to make money trading. So if you're going to make money trading, figure out the easiest, as Jesse said, the most simple way to make money, which is going to be shares. Yes, it will take time. Yes, it will take a little bit more money here and there. Yes, you do have to be more patient. However, doing that, when you start making the money, because it is very easily done with shares, in my opinion, and when you start making the money, you'll get more confidence. And you get more confidence, you'll be able to follow your plan. You start following your plan, you can start learning more skills. And that's pretty much what ended up happening with me. I just threw in the book and then went to only trading shares for a long time. And then once I started making money and getting myself out of some holes and I felt more confident, then I started learning and implementing other strategies. Would you agree?
Right. Oh, yeah, spot on, man. Yeah. And another thing, too, just going back to the small account thing, I mean, you've said it tons of times, just about over trading, right? So I know what it's like to have a small account and you're just like, you want to grow that, you're eager to grow it. You want to find all these different opportunities. You want to find, a 5R trade, 10R trade and hit that home run and just grow that account. But it's so easy. Like when you have a smaller account, you have to be really sensitive. Obviously you're a little bit limited there. So when that's growing again, just find like a good stock that you can sit that money in as a vehicle and, let it grow like Walmart, like you said, or, just something strong that you can hold while you're doing that. And then in the interim, start looking at strategies, everything else, just keep studying, read some books. So much what we do on a daily basis and just so much of the success is just your mental fortitude and the mindset. So, that's one thing I've come to learn. And then over time, like you said, you'll start getting that confidence to, know that you're a good trader and just really getting the confidence behind your trades. And when they go against you, you cut your losses short, and, you learn that it's not necessarily you made a mistake. The stock's just, not following exactly what you wanted it to do. So, you cut your losses and you wait for a new setup to come.
Dude, that was a big takeaway, man. Thanks for sharing that with me. So my takeaway from that was get into a trade, mitigate your risk, like make it a good stock, something that you're going to hold, and then go improve yourself. That's pretty much what you said. Go read a book,
Yeah.
go study, go learn, go be a better person in the interim. That was a good takeaway from you, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Okay, so here's a question, personal question. So you have a son, and
Yep.
what if he doesn't want to go to college? What's your take? What's your viewpoint on that? He says, Dad, I don't want to go to college. It's a waste of time.
Get out of my house.
Out of my house.
No, I went to college. My mom didn't go to college, but she's extremely smart. She's extremely successful and has a great job high up in the company. And just from my personal experience, I mean, I have college loans I'm paying off and that sort of thing. So I see just how much of an emphasis is put on like a college education. It's almost to the point where it's a little excessive. Like there's jobs that she would apply for that her 20 some years of experience in her field would blow somebody away with a 4-year degree, right, for a company, and she wouldn't get a job just because of that college degree. So if my son doesn't want to go to school, like he's not just going to lay around the house, but if there's something that a trade or something he's passionate about and he wants to do, like that's great. I'll definitely support him.
Yeah, that's what about trading as a career? What would your advice if he's 7 years old, wants to trade for something? What do you tell him?
Let's do it. Yeah, I'll teach you everything I know, and then he can just blow me out of the water and teach me some things.
I mean, he will, because that's
I know.
what I love about kids. I want to interview a kid in Kids a Month. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to interview someone who's under 18 and just ask them some good questions. So if anyone who's listening to this, if you have a children or a child who is under 18, and let's say over 10, maybe over 13, somewhere in that teenage range, I'd like to interview sometime in March. I'll do one of these and just ask them questions, because I mean, honestly, man, looking back at when I was 18, 19 and the things I could have done different, and as an adult or as a parent, you want to impart so much knowledge and wisdom, but that human, right? Even if it's your child, they're going to do whatever they want to do. Like they're going to live their own life. You can't force them. And it's like that agony. I can see it in my dad now telling me all the things he told me when I was a young kid and just not listening at all. And now I'm like, gosh, why did I do that? So dumb.
He was right.
He was right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's happened for generations. That's happened for thousands of years. It's going to continue to be the case. But
I think a big thing too is just kind of like exposure too. Just teach your kids everything you can. Have grown-up conversations with them. Maybe dumb down some of the words so they understand it. But just like my son comes up. I mean, he's only 3, so obviously he's not understanding everything we're looking at on these charts. But he'll come up and look at the computer and ask what it is. I tell him and explain it to him the best I can for a 3-year-old. But you just plant that seed. You never know what they're going to take onto, or what they're going to like, or what's going to be their thing when they grow up. So just try to feed them as much as you can. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, you're totally right. You never know, and that's the thing. That's the big takeaway is don't be afraid of it either, because they might. I had one parent tell me that they were afraid to teach their kids a lot about it because they would be disappointed if they taught them everything and the child didn't end up going down that route. It's like, hey, I get that, I understand it, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you know something, they're going to make their own decision regardless. It could be religion, it could be job, career, whatever they're going to end up doing in their life. They're going to make that choice. So you got at some point, this is what I know. Here's my decision. Here's my experience. Here's my knowledge, and then there you go.
Yep. Yeah, you got it, man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any questions for me?
Nothing in particular, but I definitely want to just thank you for being just such a great friend, mentor, and just really pushing me. I mean, you've been a huge part of my success and just helping me grow, which has just been absolutely phenomenal. So, I mean, I seriously don't know where I've been if I hadn't met you and talked to you and, just had your help and mentorship. So it seriously means a lot.
Yeah, dude, my pleasure, man. My absolute honor. It's been an incredible journey, and I wish only the best for you. I know you're at Panera on your lunch break right now, talking about time management skills. So I wanted you to get some food before you go back to work. So anyway, brother, you're amazing. Thanks for being here. You rock, and we will chat again soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yep. Thanks again, guys. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, man.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, see you, buddy.
All right. See ya.
Folks, that is Jesse James Levan up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And again, my goal is to every week just interview someone new. Most of the people I've met, that might seem as a coincidence, but I try to meet all of you at some level or another. If we trade together long enough, we will meet. That's just a correlation that will happen. And at least I hope to. I give plenty of opportunities, cruises and meetups and trips, and I go to different cities. So I try to meet you because I want to know people's true life story. I want to know their kids' stories, their spouses, their significant others, their careers, their tribulations, trials, demons, successes, goals, because I don't know everything. No one does. But what I do know is I learn very well from other people's experiences. I learn exceptionally well from other people's memories and journeys and mistakes and progresses and goals and gains. And I ask a lot of questions, and I learn from that. So I usually, majority of the time, I'm doing this for me. I want to learn from you all, and I just appreciate you guys giving me all the time and energy that you do in these interviews. I will continue to do them next week. I have on the list, I'll be in LA. Jesse says, let me add one more thing. All right. What time is that? 12? Oh, he's right now. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. Jesse, you still there? Hold on. He texted me. How do I unmute? You still there, Jesse?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, man?
Sorry, I just had another thought. I just wanted to add to anybody who has like a small account too. Just another thing. There's so much information out there that you're learning, and I speak from firsthand. It's overwhelming with all the strategies, and I know the feeling that you want to rush into it and try these strategies and make that money. But trust me, like I've just real quick, one strategy I learned about was like doing spreads, right, with options. And I thought I understood it. And when I placed the trade, I took it the wrong way. So I think I was doing like a bull put spread on Netflix. And I did it backwards. So when it got filled and then the market opened, I was down like $3,500. So just making that simple mistake and just not studying the strategy, was a really hard lesson that I had to learn. And you'll hear that from everybody, tons of people who, they just rush into it and they blow out their account, that sort of thing. So, just really try to focus on your strategy and just be patient. I mean, be patient and persistent, and, you'll get there. All right.
Beautiful wrap up, man. I love it. Thank you.
Thanks again, guys. Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate it. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys in the chat room.
Back at you, man. Love you too. That's funny. He texted me. I was like, is this now or is this earlier? I couldn't tell. Anyway, awesome stuff, guys. Thank you so much for being here, for watching this recording. You're all amazing. Until next time, love, live, learn, love life, trade it. See you guys later.